Hey everyone, it's Michael Groff here to talk to you about your roof. With an active monsoon season expected this year, you need a name you can trust, and that's why you should call Blackstone Roofing Group for all of your roofing needs. Call for your free inspection today. Big or small, they do it all. Tile, shingle, or flat roofing, they can help, offering free inspections and more. Roofing made easy. Call 602-536-9363 or visit blackstoneroofing.com to schedule your free inspection today. And if you tell them Michael Groff sent you, they'll take $500 off the price of your roof replacement. Again, that's 602-536-9363 or blackstoneroofing.com. This is the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion for Monday, the 21st of July. I'm Michael Groff. After a cloudy day yesterday that featured below average temperatures and some isolated light sprinkles or showers around, today should feature a bit more sun, still some clouds. Rain chances should hold off through the day, but maybe some slight chances of showers and storms by late this afternoon and this evening. Better chances overnight and tomorrow morning. Still kind of a complex weather situation here over the southwest. As we go further through the week, yes, the weather pattern becomes a lot less complicated. A bit more anomalous, but less complicated. Drier air will be coming in. Temperatures will hold pretty close to seasonal averages until the end of the weekend this weekend. Then a warming trend takes over and the heat starts to build back in. How hot will it get? What about monsoon moisture? Will it ever return at all? Is this another monsoon? Well, we'll talk about all of it and everything else as we dive on in. First, let's check out that almanac from yesterday. This is a little bit different, isn't it? 97 degrees was the afternoon high. 90 was the morning low. Yeah, that's warm. But 97, hey, we stayed below the triple digits, so I guess that's okay. And it wasn't even that muggy of a day yesterday. The subcloud layer here in the southern desert stayed pretty dry, and that's why we couldn't get any real rainfall. Despite all the clouds and the precipitation that was above us, it just wasn't reaching the ground. We had consistent showers coming over the area through much of the day. Just most of the rain didn't get to the ground. A trace of rain officially at Sky Harbor. A few of you did see some measurable rain, but that was quite few and far between. 106 and 85 are the averages. Yes, the average high has dropped to 106 degrees. And, well, don't get your hopes up because the average high doesn't get down to 105 until the end of August and then doesn't get below 100 until later on in September. So, yeah, we deal with this triple-digit stuff well into September and early October oftentimes. 119, that record high in 2023. I've noticed that a lot of people on social media are saying, yeah, this feels like a really mild summer. I think that's a product of recency bias. Last summer was the hottest on record. The summer before that was the hottest on record prior, now is second place. 2020 was at one time the hottest summer. That's third place, and we've had some pretty hot months in there in 2021 that had the hottest June on record. So my point is that we're still trending very warm this summer. June was the 11th warmest on record. So far, the month of July is sitting at about, I believe, the 7th warmest on record. So yeah, it's kind of recency bias, even though yesterday wasn't bad. Part of the reason that these temperatures are so warm is because those overnight lows are dragging up that average temp, that's for sure. Outside now, here at 8:51 a.m., scattered clouds, and we're sitting at 90 degrees at Sky Harbor. Still pretty dry, though. Dew points at 47, humidity 23%, winds light, barometer rising. As we look at temperatures out there right now, 83 in Tempe, 88 in Scottsdale, 87 in Arcadia. I see an 83 over there at the Goodyear Airport. Avondale, we're checking in at 83. It's mostly in the 80s to low 90s across the valley. These temperatures will warm up a bit more than yesterday, but still, we should see highs only in the upper 90s to about 103, and that is below those seasonal averages. Satellite picture out here across the southwest shows you what's been going on. Yesterday, we had this mesoscale convective system from Saturday night and early Sunday. The clouds and the remnants from that, and a little MCV drifted on up here in the morning and early afternoon hours and kept us cloudy and, relatively cool for this time of year. But again, because we didn't have any real deep moisture in the subcloud layer below about 12,000 feet, we couldn't really capitalize on that. We couldn't really get much rain. If we did have more moisture below, we probably would have stayed in the 80s all day yesterday. That would have been nice, but wasn't meant to be. Now, we still have lots of clouds out there. Those are going to decrease somewhat. We should get at least a little bit more sun today. The problem is going to be the same as yesterday, though. Subcloud layer here is pretty dry. Why is that? Because we have more of a southerly flow, not really southeasterly per se. And so the deeper monsoon moisture sits just to our east and southeast. But maybe by tonight and tomorrow, we'll see a deeper push of moisture that will at least temporarily give us some better chances of rain. But, you can see the weather pattern is beginning to change. We have a broad trough out there over the East Pacific, off the California coast, the Pacific Northwest coast, and that's going to deepen as we go through the week and nudge that ridge even further east and keep us more on the dry side. Speaking of that ridge, look what it's doing across the plain states in the southeast U.S. Those are a lot of extreme heat warnings, heat advisories. There's an extreme heat watch over a good portion of Illinois. And, it's one of those weird things. I know you see like places such as Atlanta and Dothan and Birmingham, Alabama. They are not in a heat advisory. But make no mistake, it's going to be hot in those places today. It's a National Weather Service criteria for issuing heat advisories. And where you see those heat advisories, the heat index value could exceed 105 degrees for a period of time through the day. The extreme heat warnings, in some offices, they issue those when heat indices may exceed 110 degrees for a period of time. So that's one of the criteria. They have several, but keep that in mind. Regardless, look, it's going to be hot for the Central Plains, the Southeast U.S., above average temperatures for sure, and with the humidity, dangerously hot in some locations. Out here in the West, it's all about those red flag warnings. High fire danger continues to be an issue. And not necessarily just where you have the red flag warnings. That's just where it's particularly notable. Here's the convective outlook. We've got the standard slight risk of severe storms, level 2 out of 5. For a good portion of eastern Montana, western North Dakota, around Hettinger and Dickinson and Bismarck. And the broader severe weather risk really across the central and northern plain states. Here in Arizona, in the green, again, thunderstorms possible across the eastern 2/3 of the state. Look, here in Phoenix, I think any storm chances might hold off until late tonight and tomorrow morning, and we're going to talk about that more in just a second. The precipitation outlook valid through Monday morning of next week. Rain amounts in Phoenix, not much, maybe a few hundredths of an inch. Heavier totals across east, central, and southeast Arizona, but even at that, rain amounts, for the most part, under 1/2 inch, although you do see a couple of spots may pick up well over an inch. And as always, your amount will vary. Any thunderstorm can produce a lot more than what's shown here. Just depends on where they occur and if you're lucky enough to catch one of those. So let's get into it here. What's going on with this weather pattern? We'll figure it out in more detail, or at least do our best as we explore the models, see what the future may hold. Here we go. It's the GFS, the 060 run. This is valid at 2 o'clock this afternoon. The upper look at 500 millibars, about 18,000 feet off the ground. High pressure, the big story across the Central Plains, 591 to 594 upper ridge, just kind of sitting there, well off to our east. We're on the far western periphery of that. And still, as has been the case for a while, we got this trough that's over the Pacific Northwest, and there is a weak upper low to our west that's kind of phasing. It's beginning to transition into more of a wave and it'll lift northward. We're just right sandwiched in between those features here in the south central desert, so sort of a southerly flow. And unfortunately, the deeper monsoon moisture it's very close. It's just to the east of us and southeast. We're kind of in the dry side right now. So what it means down at the surface for the rest of the day today, the upper levels of the atmosphere, you go up above 12, 13, 15,000 feet, there's plenty of moisture up there. So we'll have mid and high level clouds around, a mix of sun and clouds today, but the subcloud layer is pretty dry, so the humidity isn't too bad, at least. That's kind of the good news. And with the clouds around, that should keep temperatures in check. Highs upper 90s to about 103. Again, the average high for today, 106 degrees, so we'll stay at least a few degrees shy of that. Widely scattered showers and thunderstorms will develop over east, central, and southeast Arizona. Here in the lower deserts, at least through the day today, I think we stay dry in Phoenix. Let's take a look at our high-resolution guidance, see what's going on there. This is the HRRR. This is at 6 o'clock this evening. And this is the simulated radar product. And you can see, a few little popcorn showers and storms may develop here across south central Arizona, but they will be very, very hit and miss, very sporadic. More organized showers and storms may develop down there across parts of southeast Pinal County, eastern Pima County, down toward Tucson and Mount Lemmon and Fort Huachuca, and southeastern part of the state should see those scattered showers and storms, and they will be drifting to the north and west. We'll see some of those outflow boundaries kind of being pushed northwestward toward the lower deserts overnight. So for this evening, again, a slight chance of a storm, but we'll continue with clouds overnight, and slightly better chances of storms may come in after midnight and toward the morning hours tomorrow, with overnight lows for us here in Phoenix tonight, mainly upper 70s to mid 80s. This is tomorrow morning. This is off of our 3-kilometer NAM at 6 a.m. And again, it's got some widely scattered showers and thunderstorms over the south central deserts, including the Phoenix area. Radar probably doesn't turn out to be exactly like this, but that's the idea. Widely scattered storms tomorrow morning, maybe even scattered showers and storms. From run to run, there's been, some minor inconsistencies, but certainly the general idea is for some storms to develop overnight as deeper moisture does come into south central Arizona. Better dynamics, mixing ratios come up, CAPE values come up, and so with some better lift, I think we'll get at least a chance at some storms tomorrow in the early morning hours and through the morning. So we'll call for that. 30% chance, scattered showers and storms tomorrow morning, then decreasing in the afternoon. Still a slight chance we could see some storms. Here's the synoptic look for tomorrow. High temperatures tomorrow might be a bit lower. And again, a mitigating factor, just like with Sunday. If we get a lot of clouds just sitting on top of us, I just don't think we're going to get any real decent, stronger storms. And just like today, we're going to have the mid and high level clouds, so I don't think we're going to get the instability that we need in this part of the state. That's been sort of the limiting factor in all this. But still, some showers and storms are possible. The heavier rains, of course, will be across east central and southeast Arizona. High temperatures tomorrow may stay in the mid and upper 90s. How about that? But from there, it's all downhill in terms of the good news side of all of this, right? So here's Wednesday. Going to start to dry out. There could be a few showers and storms over the rim in the eastern mountains in the southeast part of the state, but here in the south central desert, southwesterly flow is taking over thanks in part to a deepening trough along the west coast, an upper low developing there, somewhere west or southwest of San Francisco. Kind of unusual for late July to have such a pronounced low out there, and it's just going to sit there, which is even more unusual. And this is a little bit reminiscent of 2020 with that big trough to the west or upper low to the west and ridge to the east and southwesterly dry flow. And we've kind of seen this story unfold in sort of the same degree or similar degree in 2023 and 2024. So we know this story. High temperatures will warm up a bit, about 100 to 104, but still slightly below average. Wednesday, maybe about the same. Thursday, we might tack on a degree or so here, maybe get toward 106 or so. Here's Friday, and again, we'll slowly warm it up. Highs about 104 to 108 for Friday. I think storm chances will be very few and far between across the state. Might not see any at all, except for maybe the southeastern corner of the state. And it's really about the same over the weekend. Not much storm activity anywhere statewide. There might be a storm over the higher terrain, but even that, chance is very low. Of course, we're dry, sunny, highs 104 to 108 Saturday. How about 107 to 111 on Sunday? As ridging to the east is finally going to start to push on in here and nudge that trough to the west. But I will tell you that the deterministic GFS and some of the other models are starting to latch onto this. This trough has really got a grip over the west coast and the western U.S., and heights will come up, but they might be a little slower to do so. So might have to adjust these temperatures a little bit in future forecasts, but for now, that's kind of the way we're looking at it. Either way, the heat's going to return to some degree, but with southwesterly flow, that's dry. Here's a week from today. This is Monday, the 28th. And 597 ridge over the nation's midsection, nosing into the southwest, and the flow aloft does look like it's going to start to turn more easterly. Now, with that kind of an intense ridge, it is kind of far away from us, but it's not the absolute ideal, perfect monsoonal setup. But some moisture will likely come back into the southwest, and we have to start the whole monsoon cycle all over again, where it takes some time to get the atmosphere juiced up again for storms. So we'll initially see some showers and thunderstorms develop over the higher terrain of east central and southeast Arizona. A few storms try to push toward the lower deserts, but they can't because it's too dry. So an outflow boundary, maybe some blowing dust comes in, and it takes a couple of days for the storms to get closer and get in here. This is Tuesday, the 29th. Again, the setup is still somewhat favorable for those monsoon storms to come into the southwest. That big ridge over the nation's heartland, an easterly flow, and maybe a wave or two or an inverted trough comes into Arizona. And if that happens, that would really help to amplify storm chances. Let's go out 10 days. Wednesday, the 30th. And here's the deal. There's still this trough that's just, you'll notice, it's not really moving. It's a little weaker, but it's still to the west of us. We're kind of just on the western periphery of this ridge, which means, this forecast is not exactly rooted in high certainty. It is certain, or it's more certain, that we will see temperatures warming up. But the exact positioning of these features and the implications for monsoon moisture is still unclear. I do think we're going to see some increase in moisture next week. How much, to what degree, whether or not there's any of these disturbances that circulate in here to bring showers and storms is unknown at this time. But we'll at least lean the forecast back in the direction of higher rain chances, maybe even getting in here to the valley. But temperatures is going to be fairly toasty. Not record-breaking by any means. At least that's not how it looks right now. A high is probably still somewhere between about 107 to 113 degrees in that kind of a setup. Just for fun, let me just take a look at the European AI model. Same time next Wednesday. And it's actually less encouraging than the GFS. The ridge is oriented in such a way that there's more of a southwesterly flow here, so we'd be drier. And we don't want to see that, but that's how it looks. So look at that big low over the Gulf of Alaska. And another trough that extends all the way down into the Central California coast. So that would be not a good setup for us. So hopefully that does not happen. And we'd still be hot. Maybe not quite as hot as the GFS scenario, but it would still be pretty warm here over the southwest. Let's look at rainfall for Phoenix. This goes out through the 4th of August. It's off of the GFS ensemble. And again, the ensemble mean here is it's been kind of between about a quarter and a half an inch. The control member continues to ratchet up toward 3/4 of an inch to 1 inch. And you got some spread in these individual members. So again, there's some encouraging sign that way out there later next week we could see some return to precipitation. But again, as I told you yesterday, ensemble data generally tends to skew more in favor of climatology the further out you go, which means, you kind of have to take what you see out there at 10 days and beyond with a grain of salt. This is the European AI ensemble, less bullish on precipitation, but still favoring more rainfall potentially out there toward the very end of the month and into early August. All right, we're not done with the monsoon yet. I know people are like, hey, I've already written it off, and I get why you would say that. You've seen this movie before, but you never know. See, all it really takes is one great big storm, one huge storm, or one big thunderstorm outbreak, and boom, we've had our monsoon rainfall. I mean, that's all it would really take. So we can't completely tell you with any certainty, nobody could tell you with any certainty that that's not going to happen. Temperatures off the national blend of models below average today, tomorrow, even into Wednesday, warming it up by this weekend and next week. Yeah, high temperature is going to be 110 plus. We're not done with 110s yet. Look, this is only the 21st of July. So we've got many more 110 degree days to go this summer. Let's take a look at the CPC outlook, Climate Prediction Center outlook, the 8 to 14 day outlook. And they've got much of the nation gripped in Very high probability of above average temperatures, including here in Arizona. And below average precipitation for New Mexico, northern and eastern Arizona, near average precipitation for our part of the state. That's not as encouraging. It's not dreadful, but that is not exactly what we want to see here. We'd love to see above average precipitation favored because this is trending in the wrong direction, right? And that's going to do it for the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion for today. My next video is due back here tomorrow morning. Should you happen to enjoy these videos, be sure to subscribe, like, share, click that notification bell, leave those comments, questions, and suggestions. If you're really enjoying what we do here, you want to support the channel, well, of course you can by clicking that thanks icon below the video here on YouTube. Make a monetary contribution to us that way or via PayPal. Groff Show at gmail.com is that PayPal address. It's GROFF show at gmail.com for PayPal. And our Venmo, it is also linked up down below. The executive producer of the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion is my OAO, the sweetest of all time, the Asian sensation and proprietor of sweetchildaz.com.org and the Facebook page of the same name, Sweet Child Arizona, talking about my Michelle. Check her out, blogs, videos, everything Michelle related, probably Adriana related. It's all linked up down below. Check it out. Our streaming station, 24/7, 365. It's available to you. It's called KMGX. Playing a lot of music, having a lot of fun with that. And that is that, folks. Thank you guys so much for watching. All of your continued support. Oh, yes, of course. Please check out Dan and the Courtroom Files channel on YouTube. The Courtroom Files on YouTube. Courtroomfiles.com. Check it out. He's got merch. He's got tons of content. Check him out. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. All of your continued support. So greatly appreciated. Please be safe. Stay cool. Stay hydrated out there. Enjoy the rain if and when you can find it. And have yourselves a delightful rest of your Monday.